I imagine the title of the thumbnail already explained what this video is going to be about, so simply put, we're going to draft 30 times, or how many even seasons you get. Normally you get 30 seasons, but I think last year they forgot to add one because, you know, it's EA. They don't really give a damn, to be honest. So 28, 29, 30 seasons, whatever it may be, of drafting to see what the highest overall / best player we can draft is. Now, it'll obviously take way too long for me to physically draft these players, but I'm going to actually go in and see what they are before the draft ends by clicking left analog stick in the draft to edit the draft, because then we can kind of see like, okay, well, this guy's an 85 overall, and this is what his potentials look like. This is what his 40 time looked like. So we can get a good idea of what they may look like. Not really doing this for rebuilds or anything like that. I've drafted a few generational players now, and I'm not really that pressed about it. We usually don't have that great of a draft pick anyways. A lot of these generational guys are, you know, top 5 picks. We've seen a running back before. I'm still going to die on the hill that kicker I drafted was a damn generational player, okay? We drafted a DT. I don't know if actually that video came out yet. That may be in a rebuild tomorrow. Spoiler, but he wasn't very good, but he was an X Factor, and I think he was generational. And I was going to do one where I was going to sim 30 years to see how many generational players we can draft, which we're kind of doing in, you know, as is. But two things, that, like I said, I just kind of explained it for tomorrow's rebuild. I believe that's when we took a low overall generational player. That is one of the factors where I don't know the actual overall limit to X Factors. I'm pretty sure there are definitely some generationals that are really low overall, but they're still generational. It's very clear to see because, like, they're an X Factor and they have, like, an insane rating. Like, just to spoil the player, he was a 72 overall nose tackle who was like 350 pounds, 99 strength, X Factor. That's clearly a generational player, obviously, right? But he was only a 72, and he still needed work, obviously. So, I don't know. Maybe he was just lucky, but I'm pretty sure that's generational. And then the other thing is, I think Bengal's first video of Madden 23 was pretty much that, maybe even kind of this. I don't know if he did all 30 seasons or not, but I still want to see what, you know, our comparison to his is regardless. So check his video out. I didn't fully watch it because it was kind of a longer video, and early on I was like, what do I want to do for videos? I really didn't have time to watch videos, but definitely check his out as well. But to look at this draft, the highest overall is a 78 overall. Once again, we do not know, you know, the generational player overall like limit or whatnot. You can see this guy's only star. But based on overalls alone, the first one, the highest overall, is a 78. And I'm actually going to write that down just because I want to have like a list of it. And I'm not going to be able to, once again, check out. Let's look by speed now, actually. So wide receivers, obviously, that's, you know, you see a bunch of these type of guys. There's a lot of them. Look at how many fast wide receivers there are. There's obviously, you know, a lot of 23-year-olds, a lot of undrafteds in general, but that's busted how many, like, really fast guys there are. And most of the drafts are going to be like that as well. Normal dev, yikes. What about the first rounder? Don't want to spend too much time on, like, you know, because we're going to probably see a lot of these types of players. All right, draft number 2, a left end who looks pretty decent based on his overall and strength and whatnot. He's an interesting character. X Factor. Don't know if that's generational, though. Once again, very good. 91 Excel, 83 speed, 90 strength for a 279-pounder. You can make the argument that maybe he's a generational. I mean, seems like one, but I can't say for certain. And I would lean towards probably not, but X Factor is still... Well, the thing is, I don't, like, it's still a generational player because in Madden, X Factor, especially a rookie, is guaranteed to be one of the best players in the league for like half a decade, maybe the whole damn franchise. So technically he is, even if they don't consider him a generational, right? And then looking at speed, you know, pretty much everyone's still like the same speed. They're all like 97 speed guys. You know, trying to see if there's anyone crazy in there, though. Like, you know, maybe like a linebacker at like 92 speed or something like that crazy. Cornerback with 99 speed or something like that. But obviously it's all running backs, wide receivers, and corners. So we're 3 drafts in, and honestly at this point, I kind of want to just like see one generational player, let alone what the highest overall we're going to see is. Of course, an X Factor corner, which is, he's 21. He is 5'9", but 92 speed. What else kind of ratings does he have? 83 zone. I mean, once again, their definition generational players, I don't even remember. I'm actually going to look it up just to see. But I would consider that a generational player. An X Factor corner is 21, very high overall. They have to be generational. But when I'm kind of thinking of generational, I'm thinking of like 80-some overall, but 78 is really high. Of course, even this wide receiver, he's a superstar. I wouldn't call him a generational because he's not X Factor, but very good. I'd like to have him. We got two 99 speed guys in this draft class. An undrafted guy who has the development trait of normal, and a second-round guy who has the development trait of superstar. That's kind of busted, especially at 6'1". Holy crap, that's kind of juiced. Yeah, but for the generational players, all it says is high overall. I would consider 78, 79 to be high, but once again, I don't know if I would consider them generational, but I'd say so. I'm going to say that any X Factor that's 78 plus overall is probably considered generational, especially if they're drafted like they're really high overall, or not overall projection. Ooh, do we have a generational quarterback? 79 overall is pretty damn high. And he's normal. He's the opposite of generational. He's I wouldn't say bust because his overall is really good. What are his ratings? 96 throw power. That's very interesting. Obviously, you'd like to have him, but interesting. I don't think there's going to be an X Factor in this class or a very high overall, which would signify a generational, I'd imagine. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Then, if it's as high overall, then that nose tackle I drafted must have just been good. Because, obviously, a 72 overall is not high overall. Hey, somebody put their overalls back on, because, where's our high overall? Ooh, this must be a generational. 80 overall. I actually skipped too far, which is kind of an L, but really good jumping, really good spec catch. Juke ability, nothing crazy. He doesn't have any of the traits, though. He just has run after the catch, which is a bit of an L. How tall was he? 6'2", 235? What's his dev? Star, he's not. He's just a high overall. I'm starting to get sick and tired of it. Ooh, that guy could be generational, actually. I just clicked off, but he might be because he has 88 catching, which is really insane for a cornerback. And he's only star. Never mind. I don't know. That has to be. We have to have found one. We have definitely found a guaranteed generational, right? Generational? Yeah. Okay, so, okay. 94 speed, 95 excel. At 5'8", 196, though, isn't really crazy. But change direction, 90, 91 juke move, 82 spin. I'm going to be honest with you. This is absolutely a bona fide generational talent. But I'm not really seeing what's so special about him, though. Stamina, injury, and toughness all sucks. He has no truck ability. He's fast, but he's not that fast. I don't know. I don't really see it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see it, but let's actually take a look at what makes him that generational based on looking at, these traits at least. And looking at his ratings, which we don't have a lot scouted. A, ball carrier. B, break tackle. C, I mean, if I was looking at this guy in the draft, I don't know if I take him. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. He's 23 as well. I don't know if I take him. Yet, he's a generational, so maybe not the easiest things in the world to see. Simply put, it's not going to be clear-cut always. I mean, hell, even knowing that he's a generational, I debate if taking him or not, to be honest, but yeah, there's that. Oh, I think we have another one. X Factor corner, 91 speed, 91 excel, 91 agility. He is 6'2", 21 years old. Really good change of direction. 89 jumping, which is fair enough. What are some of the other ratings looking like? Tackle, meh. Hit power, meh. Man in zone is pretty damn good, though. 82 man, 77 zone. He's looking pretty damn good, and, I mean, I would definitely say that's an X Factor, of course, or generational. This quarterback could also be one. 93 speed, which is really good, obviously. Pretty damn good overall, but only star, so he is not. I wish you could just search by devs, because then we could be like, okay, well, that guy's a really low overall. He's clearly not an X Factor, but yeah, the cornerback, definitely an X Factor generational talent. 7th pick overall, though. It would be nice to see if there's like any actual like gem ones of them, but let's take a look at what he looks like as a corner in our scouting. So you would definitely look at this guy if you needed, he's 22 actually, but if you needed a cornerback, you definitely look at this guy and be like, yeah, this is my dude. Although I will say, a little misleading on that speed and all that. A 4.33 ends up being 91 speed, excel, and agility. It's a little iffy, but obviously you would definitely see this guy coming. If you needed a corner top 5 and he's there, you would land yourself a generational. 78 overall right guard. I mean, maybe. Could it be? It's not. This is the highest overall. Ken Banks, a 78 overall guy with superstar, not quite a generational player. I also kind of wonder if well, maybe not, because the cornerback could be one, as 5'10", 94 speed with that kind of with that kind of dev is pretty generational if you ask me. But I was wondering if like the highest overalls are always the generationals, but does say high overall. 77 overall in my opinion is high. And as far as like his man in zone, I mean, he does look a little bit like bad. But once again, as far as like the definition of generational goes, a 21-year-old X-Factor corner with 94 speed, that's 77 overall, I would definitely say that's a generational player in my book. And I think it's another guy that you would definitely see if you were drafting, because once again, really good 40 and all that. Press is great, man is solid. Zone at worst is a C, which we now know probably is a C. You would definitely see him, and with that age, you'd probably end up grabbing him. He's the best there, probably. Brandon Scott's also decent, but definitely not as good. I was just about to say, I want a new face. Tell me this right tackle's a damn generational. I want to see a generational lineman, baby. Damn it, it doesn't exist. I mean, we have seen in the past X-Factor linemen, but it was probably glitched. Superstar for this cornerback, who's a really high overall. You'd still love to have him, but definitely not generational by the definition of X-Factor. That's the one thing we know for a fact. We don't know the actual overall, like, minimum, but we know they have to be X-Factor to be generational. Either way, still a very high overall cornerback, an 80 overall cornerback, which is definitely the highest of this class. We also have this guard who looks pretty sick. Obviously, all these guys are going to be pretty much, top. Ooh, nice. Superstar. It's 78 overall linemen, all, high first-round picks. I've also been looking at quarterbacks. The fastest we've seen was that 93 speed guy, but nothing higher. 89, 90 is kind of like the average for the highest. Ooh, I don't think there's going to be any generationals here. I mean, if there are, they're not going to be very good. I mean, I would say that if this guy's generational, I'd rather have this guy just because of the speed. Highest overall is a defensive tackle. A couple of running backs that look just as good, if not better, than that one X-Factor we've seen, which is so far, by far, the highest overall, 83. I think the second highest was like 80. Henry Tull, though, let's say, stiff arm is, up there. This guy looks better than the other guy. Once again, I doubt he's going to be a generational like that guy, but definitely better than him, even though he's normal. He's still a better player by a mile. Speed in this one, though, kind of lacking. 96 speed is the highest. We've seen a couple where there was like 5 guys that were like 97 speed, so a little bit lacking there. It's nice to see the diversity, though. You don't want to see like 99 speed players every single time. Highest overall running back, again, 79 overall, based on that speed and excel. Don't see anything special there, but superstar development trait, what's his size? 5'9". He does have a little bit of truckability compared to the other guy, but once again, I would consider this guy better than the other guy, probably because he's got dual threatness, if you will, and he's only one dev lower. Carl Clinton, what a name. Of course, pretty slow, so even if he was, a generational, it wouldn't be that great anyways. And yeah, I mean, nothing really special in this draft class. Speed, about that 86, 87 mark. Another 77 overall max, and then after that, it's 75, which is really low, easily the lowest we've seen, and honestly, kind of thinking back, probably the lowest I've ever drafted. I don't remember ever seeing, like, this. Usually just the first page, the front, the first round, you see, like, multiple 76 pluses. Of course, the quarterback's only star development trait as well, which is really bad. Speed, nothing crazy there. Wow, I mean, this is a really bad draft class. Of course, a couple of fast wide receivers, but they are all, like, kind of undrafted, so it's not like you're getting much there anyways. Jesus, the overalls are getting worse. This guy is pretty damn good, though. Decent strength with very good athleticism. Still only star, though. Okay, so the franchise, the drafts are starting to get a little bit worse here. But, of course, that's okay because, once again, we landed some pretty sick drafts beforehand. A couple of 99 speeders. Fastest quarterback is 87. Haven't seen a 90-plus speed in a while there either. There's got to be another one. 6'3", 21 years old, 81 overall. Even if he's not generational, he's still a damn beast. And he is. Okay, well, we'll have to take a look at him. Of course, this cornerback looks pretty good, too. Not as good as that other guy, but still solid. But that's pretty sick. We got another generational. So how many is that now? 3? I believe 3, maybe 4 generationals. This is probably something I should, remember, but it is what it is. It's in the video. It's there. Who cares, And we also got ourselves a 91 speed quarterback. Of course, he's not going to be generational, but still kind of cool to see, and normal development trait. Of course, the sad part is with Phillips, he's literally the pick 1 overall. He's a top 5 guy, and as you can see by his key ratings, he is very easy to see. There's no hiding him. Oh, we've got another one. The highest overall all of so far. Another running back, sadly, though. 85 overall, Swinton. Obviously an X factor because he's a generational. Slower than the other guy. 99 juke move, though. 75 trucking. I would say this guy is better than the other guy. I would say so. I would have to see the actual, like, injury, stamina, and toughness real quick, though. What is his catching ability? I think he's a little bit better of a receiving back as well. Not by, like, a whole lot, but the catching's better, I'm pretty sure, than he had. Once again, stamina, injury, and toughness, why is it so low? Is it, like, it's a generational, but they want it to be, like, another Saquon type, where it's like, yeah, you're generational, but you can't stay healthy. Yeah, evil. It's like, okay, I mean, probably don't need to do that, but sure. Checking some of the other guys as well, because once again, 77 plus is still pretty high overall. Good player, but of course not a generational one. And quarterback speed, still 86. So that running back, let us take a look at how good he was. Once again, the last one, you couldn't really tell that that guy was like a generational type. This one, I mean, he looks decent, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. A juke, a spin, a carrying. Once again, running back in general is really tough to tell because a lot of players are going to have those A's. But with the A carrying, A juke move, A spin move, you would assume that he's going to be a good player, maybe generational, but you wouldn't be able to bet on it, I don't think. And maybe this guy is a generational, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably not, and we are correct. 499 speed wide receivers. Wow, that's a bit of speed you got there. Highest overall is actually one of the 99 speed wide receivers, which I doubt is going to be an X factor, but still interesting to see just in case, and he's not. Also, though, a 6'4" corner, which I've seen a few here and there, but usually not great. Normal development trait, and that will not change here. Of course, very good change of direction. You know, getting slower Woolen vibes. You know, he's okay. He's not like special. You would definitely draft him, though. 6'4", young, has some speed and all that, but you see that's the injury, stamina, toughness. A little bit of an L, to be honest, but still kind of a fun build player. Definitely a good player. Another generational. It seems like they really love throwing those generational running backs out there, which I suppose are probably more common, and it's not going to, like, break a franchise if, you know, because a lot of the teams already have great running backs, but this guy, even though he's not the highest overall, in my opinion, is hands down the best one we've seen. It's not even close. Change direction does kind of suck a little bit, but great juke move, okay spin move, great stiff arm, solid trucking. Can't wait to see that stiff arm or stamina, toughness, and injury. Oh, other than toughness, very good. Stamina and injuries, very good. He is hands down the best generational player we've seen. It's not even close. And speaking of, it doesn't really seem super easy to tell how good he is. You know, you'd have to actually scout him more, which, you know, for me, I don't really scout running back, so this is probably what I'd be seeing. A truck, A stiff arm, A break tackle, but a B spin, and A to C juke move. You know, looking at his 40 time, he does look very solid. You know, I don't think I'd be drafting him. Yet, like I said, when we've seen his ratings and his dev, you would absolutely want him. So, once again, the running back generationals are pretty tough to actually grab because, you know, you look at these ratings, most of the time I don't fully go in. If I was looking for a running back, maybe I would look at Bayless because of his height and weight, but I'd probably start down here, you know? Like, I'd be like, this guy looks pretty good, you know? This guy looks okay, I guess. I'd be looking a little bit later down the line, you know? So, those generationals, man, kind of tough to see, specifically running back, because who's drafting running back top 20 anyways? Cornerback, first pick overall, 79 overall, insanely fast. However, agility's kind of looking iffy. Is he a generational? He is not. He's just a very solid player. Of course, I still want to see a damn generational tackle. I don't even care. Superstar's cool and all. I want a damn X Factor, baby. 199, nothing crazy there. And then quarterback, still haven't seen any insane ones. Another pretty weak draft, to be honest. I haven't really been paying attention to the heights, in fairness. Like, when's if one of these guys like 6'6", 98 speed, but I'm pretty sure they've all been at most like 6'1". All right, 78 overall. He's a second round guy, so I imagine he's just going to be like, you know, some decent player, not an actual generational, and he is that. Number 2 overall, though, also 78, still could be generational, and he may be. An X Factor pick 2 overall, 78 overall is hard to beat. I'm trying to see if he has any, like, crazy redeeming factors about himself that, like, make it super obvious. Like, his strength was okay. 82 power moves, pretty good. Block shed's not crazy, though. Tackling and hit power, semi-high. Can't tell if he's a generational, but obviously, once again, as we always say, he's still basically a real-life generational. And once again, dev just kind of happens, but, you know, doesn't really look crazy here. I mean, I would probably take him if I saw, you know, really good bench press, pretty athletic, if I had to pick that high, you know, the A tackle, A hit power. But at best, you're probably going to see an A power move, but only a C block shed. So you're like, well, I mean, that's good, but it's not like crazy good. You know, we've seen some A and Bs, A and As even. Like, you know, there's plenty of guys like that. So you would maybe miss him out. Like, you know, this guy's pretty much the same as that other guy would be if you scouted him fully. So once again, another generational you could miss out on. Ooh, a couple of really high overalls. This could maybe even be our first, like, multiple generationals. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but 80 overalls, tough to beat. Sap, not a generational, sadly. Strong safety, looking really good with that athleticism, though. Patton, also only star. Still an 80 overall, though, which is insane. Generational corner? Question mark? No. Tackle? We just want one generational lineman, please. Let me see it. Whip it out. That's what I said. Yep. No, that is really lackluster. All of these insane players that are all just regular dudes, all normals and stars, but obviously you'd still love to see it. Speed rating, really want to see a quarterback with like 99 speed or something like that. 90 speed's the highest we've seen, or 93 is the highest we've seen, but 90 is the highest we've seen in a while. And he was star, which is still pretty good. Nothing special at all in this one. All of them are non-X factors, and even then they're just really bad players overall. And it's getting a little boring, I'm going to be honest with you, but another generational running back. Once again, I don't... Oh, it's not. It's just a normal dude. Okay, well, that's even more sad. But, yeah, I wonder what the lowest overall they mean for that highest. We talked about it before, but, like, what's... You know, they say generational players are X Factor guaranteed with high overalls, but once again, what would you consider high overall? Like, if I'm drafting, I think a 75 is high. I think 75 is a high overall. You know, anything below 75 I wouldn't say, but I'm also not going to check every single one of these guys, because even if they are X Factor, they're not, like, special. Once again, we're after the highest overalls, which so far I believe for us is 85. It's either 84 or 85, one of the two. Oh, we've got ourselves an absolute generational without a doubt. He is 23, which sucks, but no doubt about it. This guy's insane. An X Factor, 90 speed, 90 excel. What are some of his ratings? He's got, you know, pretty basic stuff there. Only 60 trucking, though. Like, that's a mad L. Sure, he is pretty good at route running and catching's pretty solid, but really... That's a bit of an L. Like, don't get me wrong, you'd obviously be sick. You'd be, you know, be happy with that player, but that is kind of an L. Also, do we have a chance at back 2? We don't, damn it. I'm actually trying to think of it. Oh, is this guy a generational kicker? If he's a superstar, I don't care. It's a generational. Damn it, it's not. But, yeah, I wonder, like, back in the day, how many generational or X Factors there were in, like, normal drafts. I feel like we drafted 2 in one draft year once. I think we had like 2 top 5 picks and we landed 2 in one season, or one draft, which you can imagine it's literally impossible to do now. Ooh, 81 overall safety. Can we see some more variety? I don't think we've seen a generational safety, have we? And, well, we have yet to see that. 95 speed is super clutch and he's superstar, but doesn't count. Ooh, I don't think it's... I mean, it could be. Once again, what is a generational player? I think EA would definitely define it as a 77 plus. At minimum, but X Factor 77 plus. I don't know. Do like they consider any X Factor a generational player? Because none of the rookies from the real life class were X Factor, so that might just be like the new thing. Is if you're an X Factor, you're just considered generational. Well, I think it's safe to say that 2052 is either the last season or going to be the last season. as it has been simming for ages. I restarted the game, and it still just said, simming to Pro Bowl, or something like that, and it's just not working. So that is pretty much 30 years of drafting. This is kind of annoying my face, actually. I'm going to probably just head to the main menu. But yeah, of course, I have seen 87 overalls from people sharing it on Twitter, and I've seen them in a couple other videos. I think I maybe even seen an 88, but obviously, as you can see, with our 30 sim seasons of drafting, we didn't see anything like that. I think 85 was our highest. The highest, realistically, is like 79. You can see low 80s somewhat often, so maybe we'll see one of those in one of our franchises, whether that be the Seahawks, of course, which showed on the screen right there, or our Vikings franchise, which hopefully will start up sometime maybe on the weekend, hopefully maybe by Monday. We'll see, of course. And that's pretty much going to be it. Like I said, this video took a long time, but the editing was at least really easy. So if you enjoyed it, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, once again, really, really, really appreciate your continued support. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. And if, hey, you see a player that is like higher than that, let me know by, just adding me on Twitter. Just, say, hey, look what I found. Of course, there may be some fakes out there, but typically we can kind of see when a player is, generated or not, because someone would be like, well, look what I found. It's like a 6'5", 99 speed, 99 XL receiver. It's like, come on, dude, really? Like, no need to lie. But I would be interested in seeing your players, because we didn't really get anyone super crazy, but I have seen some sick players. Even, like I said, in Bengals' video, I'm pretty sure he had like a 97 speed quarterback or something, which was absurd. I think we seen one of those last year when we were looking for the fastest possible quarterback. So yeah, we didn't really get super lucky in this one, but we seen some, decently high overall 80s, some pretty sick players, of course. That tight end was insane, even though he's 23. And yeah, like I said, let me know those things. If you want to see other things like drafting 30 years for some other reason, I don't know, like the fastest possible, like I said, quarterback, see if it's possible to grab a 99 speed quarterback. I doubt it, but maybe, you never know. And yeah, that's about it. Any other experiment videos you want to see? Like, if you don't believe in a certain thing, you're like, I don't believe this exists in the game. Like I said, one example I always use, and it's probably the reason why I haven't made the video yet, is because I want to keep using this example, is, does size matter? Like, we'll test out if like a 5'5", 165-pound lineman performs the exact same way as like a 7-foot-tall, 350-pounder or something like that. Same with like running back or wide receiver, obviously. The really small, light players should never have a chance at like 99% of positions. So testing something like that out, see what happens. And, if you have anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. But that's pretty much it. Seahawks video a little bit later today. And tomorrow would be a rebuild. So that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!